This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion.
Hello and welcome once again to Talking Pictures Podcast. I'm your host David and joined with me as always my co-host Brian. Brian, how are you today?
Shut up, you're not the boss of me now.
They don't even say shut up. Why are you saying, why tell me to shut up?
Yeah, because you're not the boss of me, shut up.
Alright, okay, that's alright. Brian, if you don't mind, I was going to tell people that they're more than welcome to Talking Pictures Podcast, that they can follow us on our...
They can shut up as well, they're not the boss of me.
That's alright. Well, regardless of what Brian says, you can follow us on all of our social medias. They're down in the links below, and we've new episodes every single Wednesday, as well as another podcast entitled Saturday Morning Cartoon Club, which has a new episode on the last Saturday of every month. We're here today to talk about the revival of Malcolm in the Middle, which is Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair. But before we talk about Malcolm in the Middle, Brian, have you got a trailer of the week for us?
Oh shit, fucking real...
Yeah, I'm the boss of you. I'm the boss of you. What's the trailer of the week?
What's the trailer of the week?
What's the trailer of the week?
Yeah, 1 second.
Pick
Jesus,
a trailer.
Get off my
Pick a
fucking...
trailer.
Oh, I actually do have a trailer.
Go for it.
Punisher.
Why are you always picking trailers I didn't watch?
You didn't watch it?
No.
Why?
Because I want to see it when it... I just want to see it. I don't want to be spoiled on it. I just want to see it when it happens.
It doesn't
on screen.
Spoil any... Alright, I agree with you in some instances where a trailer is released and I don't want to watch it because I'm so passionate and anticipating it and looking forward to it that I don't want to watch it, the trailer, because I know when we're watching the movie, multiple scenes will come up and I've already done my analysis on it and I know, right, this is the scene that I saw in the trailer.
Yep.
That means I know which characters are in the scene.
Yep.
I know which characters are no longer in the movie from this point on.
Yep.
I know this action scene is supposed to happen here and out, and
Yep.
you know, you're so well informed based on your love for the trailers. I kind of ruined myself for Supergirl in that regard, but I don't care because I love that trailer.
Yep.
But at the same time, I want to be excited for John Bernthal having taking on a writer's role in the Punisher.
Well, I think that if he hadn't appeared in Daredevil Born Again Season 1, and if he wasn't appearing in Spider-Man, if this was the first reintroduction of John Bernthal as Punisher, then I would have been like, yeah, I want to see this. But now I feel like he's established back within the MCU. So I'm like...
Heavily so.
Yeah, so I'm like... So I can wait. I can wait the month. It's not even like... It'd be different if this trailer released and it was to release in August or September. And I'd be like, okay, I need a little bit of a dose of it. But like it's airing the week after the Daredevil Season 2 ends. So I'm fine to have my Marvel fix in that being Daredevil. And then I'll be treated with the Punisher afterwards.
Punisher going to punish you for not watching this trailer.
I think he'll reward me. I think I'll be rewarded for not being spoiled.
But
does it look good? Anyway, sorry.
It does look good.
Good.
It looks, obviously, it feels like they're treading new water, new territory in going into the mental state of Frank. But they kind of have done that already with Season 1 of Punisher, with the loss of his family. So they're obviously doing... And they kind of did it as well in Born Again, Season 1. So they're kind of jumping on that train, but they're making it more of an isolated kind of narrative for Frank and where he's at now. Like, the whole idea of him killing and not caring, of coming into self-harm or harm's way, and just... battling through it, like he's a killing machine. He refuses to die because of the pain that he's going through.
It'd be curious if where this takes place in the timeline, because can you imagine this takes place after Thunderbolts, where Sentry or the Void, has put him in a state where he's had to relive that situation with his family, again and again and again, and it's pushed him over the brink here now, and that's why he's in this state of not caring about whether he lives or dies.
I don't think that's really going to be relevant. We can talk more about it when we're chatting about Daredevil Season 2 and again Punisher and even Spider-Man Brand New Day, about how do or do not the results of Thunderbolts, the actions, the events of Thunderbolts play some sort of an effect on these next movies. And
if it doesn't, I'll be disappointed, because like it very purposefully was set in New York.
Yeah.
And it is a pretty big deal. And it's one of those things that there should be some interconnectivity. Because, like, think about how many projects after Avengers Endgame have referenced the blip, have referenced, oh, I've been gone for 5 years, all this kind of stuff, to then have multiple projects taking place in New York and not reference this event. It seems like they should be doing more for the interconnectivity.
I'll save the conversation for another time about it, but I don't feel the same way to you. But it does look like they have the story for a reason. All right, you're always going to say what's next, you know, and where are we going with this? Because ultimately, what we do want is just a Punisher TV show for John Bernthal. Like, special's great. Anything with John Bernthal is great, but more, please. That's what I say. Looking forward to the special. Want to see it. We'll see it. We'll be talking about it after it's over and after we see Spider-Man Brand New Day. Okay, when are we going to see him again?
Yeah.
More, please. But
we'll talk about that when we talk about it. Yeah, I suppose we will. But we're not here today to talk about Punisher One Last Kill. We are instead here to talk about Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair.
I didn't really grow up watching Malcolm in the Middle.
Okay, then we're coming at this from two very different two ends of the spectrum here.
I watched Malcolm in the Middle, the entirety of the show, maybe 2 years ago.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I know, obviously, I seen maybe the odd, rare episode that, I think I remember this scene from this random episode.
So what was it then that made you want to watch it so late in the game?
So a thing called COVID came around.
Ah, yes.
And
but why that? Why Malcolm in the Middle of all things?
It was an easy binge. Episodes were short and they're handy watches. I wanted to kind of be in the know of any reference Malcolm in the Middle has generated. This is post WandaVision, where one of their episodes was kind of a spoof on the Malcolm in the Middle kind of thing. I wanted it to be a show that I could say now I have watched and I liked it. Like, obviously there's so many episodes that I can't remember. It's definitely of its own time. But why did I want to watch it? I suppose, why does anyone want to watch anything?
Yeah, well, obviously, but like, you know, you're watching it 20 years later. Do you know that you're picking it up 20 years later and you didn't have this like connection to it from when you were a kid? That's what's intriguing to me. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum where I've seen Malcolm in the Middle, I'd say like 8 or 9 times all the way through, because I watched it so much when I was a kid that it would just be on telly.
But I can't even tell you where it was on
Sky
the
One.
Sky One, was it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Right.
And it would just be on all the time, or I would watch it all the time, and I would watch it from like episode 1 to whenever it was, like, because I was watching it while it was still airing, so I was watching like the reruns of it, and it would play from episode 1 up until the latest episode, and then it would just go back to episode 1, so I would just watch it back again and again and again. And
that's so active. Like, I can't recall a time where I was aware that the Malcolm in the Middle show was ongoing. Like, I was a bit too young to really be thinking about how's the show going to end? What's the finale going to be? Like, to me, it's a show that's on. It's a TV show. You've no knowledge or concept of the makings of a TV show from a narrative perspective. Where you know, you'll have, now this season's going to have major ramifications, or the end of this season is going to end at a cliffhanger. We're going to continue at the premiere episode of the next season.
Yeah. Or
this is the final season. Now this is the end of the show. So like,
what are we gearing up towards? Yeah. So it's a show that I couldn't tell you every episode, but if you put on any episode, I could tell you what happens in it as soon as it starts playing. And it's an episode like, oh yeah, this is a great episode. Like, there's never an episode where I go, this one's a bit of a stinker. Like, every episode is a great episode in my mind.
There was only one. Look, when I was watching it as an adult, maybe 2 years ago, there was only really two episodes that come to mind. One is Hal playing bowling, and anytime before he bowls, he takes a drink.
You're crazy. That's one of the best episodes. You're crazy. Brian, you're crazy.
But here's the thing. I don't know what that episode is about beyond Hal bowling.
It's a split. Are you crazy? You're crazy.
I can't remember.
You're nuts.
I can't remember.
I would actually pause the podcast right now and play that episode for you right now. That is a split timeline episode where at the beginning, both Hal and Lois, neither of them want to take the kids bowling.
Yeah.
So we get a split version of it where we see what would happen if Hal took the kids bowling and what would happen if Lois took the kids bowling. Right. And we literally see like a split screen version of the episode, seeing it from two different perspectives. You're crazy. It's one of the best episodes.
Do you want to know what made me remember it?
Go on.
Hal drinking soda.
Yeah, he's in a rhythm, and he's bowling a perfect game, and every time he adds something to the routine, he has to do that every single time. The episode is that Hal comes along, and he drops the kids off, and he's like, all right, have fun, and then he goes down the other end of the bowling alley and bowls. But Lois turns up and there's no adults, and she goes, oh no, we're not having boys and girls here at a party, someone has to chaperone this, and she stays. And we see then how all of this night plays out, whether Hal isn't there, or if Lois is there. You're crazy, the fact that you go that. What's the other episode, so I can argue with you on that as well?
The other episode was more so towards the end of the episode, where the family go to like a fair or an event, and I just remember the three boys kind of receive their comeuppance, or they go through like hardship. And I remember, I think my older brother was there when he said it like, Reese has a black eye, Malcolm's eyes are all swollen up from poison oak, and Dewey's covered up in a jacket.
The company retreat.
He's gone nuts from the sugar rush.
That's a great episode. Oh, you're crazy.
But like that, it's just those moments. Like I remember Dewey gone all feral, and Lois is trying
because he ate all the sugar. Yeah,
and Lois is trying to get him and retrieve him like a rabid dog, you know. And he's just going nuts under the jacket. Yeah, and then they're all going home. That's like a moment I remember.
Here's what you need to do. You need to go back and rewatch Malcolm in the Middle, because you will watch it and you go, yeah, this is a great episode. This is a classic episode. This is great.
I seen it though.
Yeah, but see it again. I don't know about you. Watching Life's Still Unfair, the revival series, has made me want to go back and rewatch it. It's always in my mind. It's like, oh, I must rewatch Malcolm in the Middle. But this now has made me want to go back. So
I know the love is there, and it's not really so much about the story of there is no overarching story. It's just
not really.
No, it's just seeing the family and seeing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So what did you make of the finale of the original series?
I was happy with it. Like,
yeah, I suppose
the show could have continued. Yeah. I wouldn't have had a problem with that either. It wasn't like, okay, it's time to end it or anything like that. I was, I didn't think it was a bad ending or anything like that.
It was just the show ended.
It just ended. Yeah. It just it felt like it naturally ended.
So how were you anticipating having more Malcolm in the Middle?
I was excited. I'm excited. It's like, what you said there was correct. There is no overarching story. There is no, oh my God, did this happen? I just want to see the family interacting with each other. Mm-hmm. I just want to see this character talk to this character. I want to see how is this character reacting to this character. I want to see those interpersonal skills. It's like any good ensemble, you put any two characters from the ensemble together and it's gold. And I feel like that's the case with the Malcolm in the Middle family.
So just the fourth episode really of this revival.
Unfortunately so, yeah. There's two ways you can kind of go about revival. And I feel like this is not a revival. It's more so a reunion in the shape of a revival, right? Because of the fact it's 4 episodes, each being 30 minutes. Yeah. You could almost say this is the Malcolm in the Middle movie. It's one story over 4 episodes.
Well, I did see Frankie Muniz say that.
Like, did he?
Yeah, in an interview he said, well, look, this was always the plan. Yeah. It was always the plan to make this return the length it came to be. Yeah. So you can perceive it as a movie, just split across 4 episodes, and that's why I would recommend this to be a one
binge.
A one sitting viewing.
That's how it feels. It feels like it's just one story here. You take out the credits at the top and the tail, and it feels like the Malcolm in the Middle movie. Yeah. And it's like, where are they now, kind of thing.
I wouldn't even be. I was not really expecting this Lifestyle Unfair revival to be its own story per episode. I was kind of expecting these 4 episodes to be one overarching story. Yeah. I would be surprised if it wasn't, because they can't really afford that, because it's not what Scrubs is doing. And
that's what I was going to say, that in the exact opposite end of the spectrum, where we have revival versus reunion, Malcolm in the Middle is a reunion, whereas Scrubs is a revival. It's a 10 episode series, and it's like Scrubs is back. It's just like a new season of Scrubs.
Yeah, like, not to say they're a yin and yang comparison, but Dexter. For the longest time, Dexter has it's ended. It was a show that was not continuing, and it got a 1 season return, like another show like Justified, and poorly received, and then it got a prequel, but then it got a sequel continuing Dexter like the original format, and now all of a sudden we've got season 2 coming. So that is now doing what Scrubs is doing. Yeah, it's the same concept, same characters, maybe a different location. Some time has passed, but we're still doing what we, the fans, want the characters to be doing.
Yeah.
So it's a revival or a sequel series, or just a continuation, really. That's obviously not Malcolm in the Middle here.
No, this is very much more reunion. It's a where are they now? Look, oh, here's everyone back, but this is one story.
You nearly could say that to compare it to Friends, maybe. The Friends reunion, like
I would rather this than the Friends reunion.
Oh no,
where they're all they.
So would I. But like you could, if Malcolm in the Middle did what the Friends reunion did, any questions a random fan in the audience would have asked the cast, they could have said, yeah, well, this is what Malcolm is doing now. I'm sure he has a child, like whether he's single or he's in a relationship. Say Reese is always a screw up, and Francis he's definitely matured up, but he still has his like insecurities about his mother Lois.
You just make it up.
Yeah, you could make it up. You know, like that's just the way it kind of feels like.
But it feels like when it's actually done like this, it is more real because we're seeing it, and this is what's happening.
We are seeing the actors return to play the characters that made them who they are. When they were young. Like,
now that being said,
Yeah.
right, I still feel as though this is a jumping off point. I think we will see another series. I think they will do this again because they did this in such a way that we not only revisit so many things and so many characters from the original series, but there's so much new introduced. There's so much potential for what could come. And I think if they don't do another series of this, it's wasted potential because they introduce so many new things in here that I am interested in seeing.
I think this Lifestyle Unfair is a great jumping off point for a premiere episode.
Yes.
So you pretty much start the premiere episode of this Malcolm in the Middle revival. Here's Malcolm in this place where he's distanced himself from his family. And by the end of this episode, this 20, 30, 20, 40, 60, 80 minute, let's call it 90-minute premiere episode. Some TV shows do that. By the end of that, he rekindles his relationship with his family and then with his mother, and he decides to move back home. Francis and Pyama, they're like, I would kind of expect them to play a role that Francis did later in the series, where he would not have his B storyline every episode. He would be
They're like the special guest stars of
the special guest stars, but I would love to have them present more often than not. Reese is the screw up who still lives at home, and I think Dewey would be like another Dewey, and Jamie would be the more of a, they wouldn't be there every day, but they could be, because based on the characters and who they are and their careers, you couldn't have them every day, and you don't want to overload it as well, especially because of whatever new characters they introduce, such as Malcolm's girlfriend, his daughter, and their non-binary sibling. I thought that was an interesting element to this revival.
I think that it is perfect to the story that Lois finally, because she always wanted a daughter.
When she was pregnant with Jamie, she says to the unborn child in private, "I hope you're a girl."
That is after the whole episode where she imagines if all of the boys had actually been girls, and how it was actually awful. It was nearly as bad, if not worse.
Oh no, it was worse
than when they were boys. But still, at the end of the episode, she goes, "I hope you're a girl." You know, and Jamie obviously comes out to be a boy, and that's a little bit of a thing as well in the series, is that we don't actually they name Jamie, but because it's a boy and a girl name, we still don't know, and it's for a couple of episodes actually we don't know whether Jamie is a boy or a girl or not. So she finally gets that in Kelly, but still Lois doesn't get that because Kelly comes out as non-binary. And what I think is great about that is how, even though it's a family of like screw-ups and fuck-ups, and they're always trying to get one over each other and they're always bullying each other, there's never an instance where Kelly is made feel different because they're non-binary.
Yeah, you can obviously generate an interesting storyline where Lois finally got what she wanted, but then again she doesn't, because she doesn't get to have mother-daughter days out and about. But
I'm sure she still gets mother-child days.
Yeah, she does. But like, you can that's obviously an episode of the week kind of thing. You know, she'll have every one of the siblings will have their episode of the week. You know, and it's so crazy now. How the family's grown, because now all of a sudden there's 2 new children there, and I like the fact that they for better or for worse, they didn't ignore that. They acknowledged a lot of things that we the fans are happy to see them acknowledged. So like they acknowledged that there was a baby in Malcolm in the Middle for the latter half of the show's existence. They even acknowledge that that Lois was pregnant at the end of the finale, and Hal screams. Like they acknowledge that, hence Kelly. And then they even acknowledged the recast of, well, they didn't acknowledge the recast of Dewey, but I'm split with this thing, right? The actor who played Dewey in the show didn't want to come back. Okay, fine, fair enough. I was delighted with a recast. I think you can't. You're only going to be asking, where's Dewey? Why isn't Dewey there? And then if you're just gonna like fake do a couple of fake appearances, like, oh, Dewey almost came but he couldn't. Oh, Dewey's stuck in traffic, so he can't make it. Oh, Dewey's plane is delayed, so he can't make it. So it's kind of like what some Simpsons episodes do, where if they're in the future and Maggie's
about to speak,
but she keeps being interrupted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm glad they didn't do that for Dewey, except rather than speaking, it's an opportunity for Dewey to appear, but he can't. And I don't know, like, he'd only be shot from the back of his head, and like he'd be carrying his instruments or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they did recast, and the actor plays him well. But I'm not done. But what was the point?
Yeah. I felt like I was wanting for Dewey.
Like,
I know the reason for it is because they were like, right up until the last minute, they were like, they were trying to convince the actor Eric Pursullivan to come back, and at the last, and then obviously they couldn't get him back, so they recast, but it was too late to rewrite the script.
Was it? Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, it's a shame. I feel like even Dewey was, I don't know, I didn't feel like Dewey was Dewey, you know?
Well, he did grow up, like, come on.
I know, but I felt like Francis was still Francis. I felt like Reese was still Reese. I felt like Malcolm was still Malcolm. Dewey felt the most unlike himself. And I don't think that's down to the actor. I think that
I think it's down to the writing, subject to the fact that he was not really there. He was always at the other end of a screen.
Exactly. So he doesn't get to interact with the characters. And I think sometimes the interactions bring out the character.
Yeah, it does.
When he's just reacting, when he's not, I know that's a recording.
Yeah.
You know, or he's put in post. So it's kind of difficult. But
especially when there was such a big kerfuffle about Malcolm not coming to the anniversary, and then all of a sudden, but Dewey's not here.
But I think, it's because Dewey was on the video as much as he could be. You know, he was making the effort in that kind of way.
Nah,
I don't know.
I that's a cheap move. That doesn't work for me. You recasted him. We all accepted it. You can have the actor be there in person. It's as if the character doesn't exist. It's as if they did. I nearly almost rather they did what I was pitching.
Really?
That this whole time they would like shoot Dewey from the back of his head or shoot him obscurely, not to reveal his face, and he'd be on his like own little like adventure of his own, and then the anniversary episode, the whole revival would end with Dewey coming to the anniversary at the end of everything. He's like, what's going on here? Because they'll see them all glittered up and stuff.
Even do some kind of like planes, trains and automobiles situation where, like, can you imagine if Craig had to go and pick up Dewey and they're super delayed and he couldn't get back, and like all of their stuff is separate from the family trying to get to the actual event?
Yeah.
And do that over the 3 episodes, and then the final episode, he does come in at the end, and that's when everyone's delighted to see him. And Craig comes in, and he's like, "Oh, you know, we try," and no one gives a shit about Craig. Like,
but even though for that whole B storyline, it would be Craig doing all the talk and doing all the thing. Like, I wouldn't expect. This is me.
Oh no, I feel like you could still have that with the actor who replaced Dewey.
What I'm pitching is that they just.
I'm pitching something different.
Well, I'm pitching on top of your pitching, and that you just have a stand-in.
No, why would you do that?
Why would you recast Dewey but not really put him in the revival? Why would you do what they did?
I think that, well, it's better to have what they did have than nothing at all. I think what you're initially pitching, where it's a stand-in and we don't actually see him or anything like that, is worse than what we got.
I kind of disagree.
Okay, well, we can move past it, man.
No.
We don't have to argue over this.
No, I want to argue.
I think that having the illusion of someone there, it's like, why are you teasing us with them to not have him there.
Because I feel like they are still teasing us. Like they're giving me something, and I feel like they're trying to over accommodate by having it somewhat of a consistent presence, but it's still not enough. And
so you'd rather have less to make it enough. You were saying that less would be more?
Well, you are generating a storyline out of it. You are generating a B storyline out of the plane, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah,
out of
but
it.
what I'm pitching is something completely different. To have their own little arc, their own side quest, where Craig and Dewey are trying to get to the reunion. But removing Dewey from that, then it's just a Craig side plot.
But then here's the thing: if you do that, Craig and Dewey train, planes, and automobiles, and they're on their way back, and they're hitting every obstacle on Earth to the point where they're taking bipolar planes to get to where they need to go. But they're having the new actor play Dewey. Well, then I'm going to go to that and think, why didn't you just cancel this B storyline altogether and have that Dewey actor, the new actor, be there with the family and do what I wanted them to do from the get-go, rather than having them at the other end of a screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no.
So
to have the actor in the ensemble the whole time,
yes,
is the best option.
It is the best option.
Yeah, I agree. We're not arguing on that. Okay,
but
that is absolutely the best option. But if you have a situation where you can't rewrite the to have the actor do that, then you take out those interstitial bits entirely and create this new thing with Craig. Because what does Craig do? Craig's not there. You have then two characters who are, okay, we can film this later. We don't have to do that. We can do the ensemble bits, and then we bring in that actor for the last part in the function.
I think we can just agree to the first thing of what would be best, and then
what's best is having the actor there the entire time. I agree. Yeah, okay, we can agree on that.
But do you know, when it comes to Reese, I thought they nailed him.
Oh yeah, there was something about Reese that when he came back, it was instantly like, that is Reese. That is 100%. Reese has not aged a day. Yes, he has physically, but Reese is exactly the same. Yeah. And there was something about there was this montage where Malcolm is saying about how he's worse when he's with his family, and him and Reese are having this little tiny back and forth where they're talking about the car.
Yeah.
And Malcolm is just losing his mind. He's going, "Is this pretentious? Is this pretentious?" And he starts keying up the car and scratching it, and it cuts back to Reese's face, and he's laughing. But then as soon as Malcolm turns to him, he puts on the straight face again, and he's like hiding the fact that he's manipulated Malcolm into doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. This is so early seasons. This is so the original series kind of interaction that they have, and he was just perfect. And then
I thought what they were doing with Reese in kind of building a rivalry between himself and Kelly.
Yeah,
I think
him and Kelly, Reese finally met his match.
Yeah,
and it's Kelly. It's brilliant.
That is ripe with potential. For a follow-up series.
Oh yeah, you could 100% see them being adversaries in a potential new season of this, because Kelly is young, and they even say in it, I think I found my calling. It's being a snitch, and there's nothing in the world worse than a snitch for Reese. Like, that he can't get away with what he wants to do. Yeah. And there's a few moments where Reese, like in that first episode where he does the he's fixing things with Hal, and they've grown a bit of a relationship, and Hal is finally at a place where he's like, oh, like, I'm really proud of you, Reese. And he's like, maybe we could just do a jigsaw puzzle. And he's like, no, we have to be fixing things or building things. And in that moment, before the context of what's going actually on, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of sweet for Reese. It's like Reese is actually quite dependent, and we have seen that in the past where he got super into cooking, and that's his talent, is that he's a great cook. And when things change for him like that he has those reactions. But then later on, when it's revealed that he's actually been videoing Hal's fuck-ups and he's putting them online and he's monetizing Hal, and we go, Reese, you're such a bastard. But I go, but that's 100% Reese. That is, no matter what, anytime, and I should have known this, anytime that Reese is being genuine and sincere, it's for his gain. Like, there's an ulterior motive going on here, and I don't know why I didn't expect it, but as soon as it happened, I'm like, Reese has never changed. Reese is perfect.
Did you notice that there was a few like split moment flashbacks where we had like the family together? Even Dewey was there. Even Jamie was there.
When they were younger, yeah.
This was in the Christmas flashback.
Oh, that was a fantasy.
Yeah, I call it a flashback. Sorry, but so obviously the whole family's there, and then there was a flashback or maybe it was another fantasy where they're at a dinner table.
Maybe it was the flashback where Malcolm was saying how he knows how to pronounce quesadilla.
Yes, that. Yeah. So like.
That's a great one because, yeah, it is a flashback, and Lois's hair is brown, it's no longer white.
Yeah.
And we see Jamie being like 8 years old, and Kelly is there 4 or 5 years old. Like it's a great like blink and you'll miss it kind of flashback where everyone is there but just not all of the actors.
Showing the passing of time, really. I thought that those like togetherness with the family kind of captured that very well. Because then when in the final episode where we have Reese step out of the corner speaking to Malcolm, it's like,
hey, yeah, like there's no acknowledgement of you not talked to me for years or anything like that. It's just like he just like puts his head out and it's like, okay, here's the plan. I'm going to avoid mom and dad for as long as possible, and it's just instantaneously back to it.
How quick did that lighter just light up? Like, honestly, they jump back into it and they fit so well.
Well, I feel like I haven't seen that actor anywhere else. You know, in my mind, he is just Reese.
Yeah.
I've not seen him play any other characters.
What has that actor been doing for the last 15, 20 years?
I don't know. You've been waiting. You've been waiting for that phone call for Reese.
They still have it. They're still good actors, I think.
Oh yeah, everyone slipped right back in.
Yeah, as if they didn't leave. It's honestly amazing how that can happen sometimes, really. Yeah, like what they were doing with Reese, it was good for, and they fitted a lot in for what little time they had.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we talked about them there. Kelly, what do you make of Kelly as a new addition?
I really liked Kelly. I think that the way that they are straight in with family, the way that they have all of these interactions with all of the family, that they have this rivalry with Reese. Over the phone, they have a kind of a relationship between Kelly and Malcolm that kind of reminded me of Malcolm and Francis from the early days. Like, Malcolm always looked up to Francis.
Yeah.
I feel as though there's some level of that with Kelly and Malcolm, because Kelly is calling him on the phone to get him to come to the party. And then there's a little moment where Kelly and Francis is doing up their tie and helping them get ready for the party. Feels like there's just a good brotherly bond between all of them.
I thought that was actually very sweet.
Yeah.
Like Francis doing Kelly's tie.
The only person that I feel like I didn't, and it's kind of actually, we talked about it with Dewey a bit, and it's there also for Jamie. Jamie feels like he's not there. I don't get a sense for who that character is.
Yeah.
I feel like I know more about Kelly, who's introduced in this special, than Jamie, who was a character. Now, fair enough, he was a baby for the last 2 or 3 seasons, but I don't know much about his character beyond that he is now in the Coast Guard, or he's
Yeah, no, I'll get to Jamie in a minute, but with Kelly, I thought that they are one of the, if you were to do a continuation, right, of a revival, you'd obviously have the main characters with Hal, Lois, Malcolm, his daughter, probably his Tristan, his girlfriend, and Reese and Kelly, with guest appearances or recurring appearances between the likes of Dewey, Jamie, and Francis and Piama. Note that Kelly is of the immediate family, who's not a child of one of the characters we know, or a spouse of one of the characters we know. Kelly is the one character within the family who I would like to see as like a mainstay, like a main cast who can lead their own episodes.
Well, here's the thing, right? And it actually kind of, I kind of forgot about it right up until the end. We find out that Malcolm had his daughter in college. So Kelly, we find out that Lois is pregnant at the end of the series when Malcolm is in college.
Yeah.
So Kelly and Leah are only maybe a year, 2 years in the difference. So at the end, when it's the party, when Leah invites Kelly over to talk, just to be their friend, this little friend group, and she's like, yeah, sure, why not? And I go, oh, that's kind of nice, like that's your cousin. I go, no, hold on a minute, that's your aunt.
Yeah,
like
they're not cousins, they're aunt and niece.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
now I'm not sure what way it goes when it comes to non-binary people and relationships like that. We'll just call it aunt just for the sake of convenience, but yeah.
But like that's a kind of pairing in a potential show that you'd like to see. There's nothing of it really beyond what we see.
Yeah,
but it's a great
potential for it.
It's a great dynamic. It's ripe for a follow up show. It really is. But just following up on Jamie there, I liked who is Jamie and what could he be? You know, well, he's a sailor. He's a pure jock. He's a dumb jock. the way I see it, he's probably the slowest out of the group, but
I feel like that's always going to be Reese.
No. When I say slowest, I mean like he's not even capable of like pulling pranks.
Oh, okay.
Like, and I think to accommodate him being the slowest, he's by far the strongest. Mm-hmm. And so like,
yeah, he's the biggest of them all.
Yeah. So like Reese if they had like, you know, big ensembles in a given episode where they're all pulling pranks on one another, like Reese can do all he wants, but like as soon as Jamie has his grip on Reese, he's not getting away. No, he's not. Like so I kind of like that. Now, yes, there's next to nothing of Jamie there. Like, like what does the actor like really do there? You know, like all these guys grew up together in the show. I'm just a stand-in here. I'm playing a character that was played by a baby 20 years ago. You know, there is not much to it, but they kind of give him something of enough. I nearly think they gave him a little bit. No, they did give him more than what we got from Dewey, because
you're crazy. You're just crazy.
No,
did we watch the same show?
Yeah, well, because Dewey wasn't even on screen. He wasn't even there. He was behind the recording.
But there's still more of him than Jamie. What did Jamie do? Tell me, what did Jamie do?
What did Dewey do?
Dewey was present for multiple conversations. What was Jamie there for?
Dewey was there for that one.
No, I'm asking what was Jamie there for?
Jamie was he was there for the anniversary, and he was there for a recording as well.
Yeah, but Dewey was there for way more than that.
No, so Dewey was there for like the howl being shaved.
Yeah.
He was there with the ensemble with everyone else, and he said next to nothing and left. And then Dewey was there for the anniversary.
No, I think you're
not as much as Jamie was.
You're underplaying how many times Dewey appeared.
No, he did appear to us a number of times.
No, I think you're underplaying it.
Name another time he popped up then.
Well, I can't name them.
Why can't you?
Because I don't have the brain that you have, where you remember all these things. But I think you're underplaying. You're overplaying how much Jamie was there compared to. We know that Dewey's in a relationship. We know that Dewey is touring the world with his piano.
Is that it?
Yeah, there's two more. That's two more instances of things that we know than we know with Jamie.
Jamie is the way I perceive Jamie.
The way you perceive Jamie and the way that Jamie is.
Can you let me finish?
No.
He's strong. He's in the Navy. He smokes. He comes across as dull, and he was there at the anniversary, so like I think we got a little bit more of Jamie than we did Dewey.
Well, we can agree to disagree on that,
but you're wrong.
That's all right, man. It's lonely being right. It's lonely at the top.
That's my saying. You want to talk about Francis?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about Francis. I like that Francis is never going to grow up in a different way than the others. Like, he's always perceived by Malcolm in the original series as like the older brother, the oldest brother, the one to look up to. But like, Francis is always constantly looking for Lois's approval, and the constant thread of him wanting to move up her list of priorities. Like, he's
a thing you'd expect to see in a given episode of a show. So I like that they're not making that an overtly special thing for this special reunion. I like that. For the most part, they try to. What are they going to do with Francis? You know, in this revival, you know, is he just going to be popping up in like one episode or something? But no, he's there.
He's there.
He's there.
Majority of it.
He is there throughout, and he's there trying to seek the attention of Lois, the mother.
That's always it's what he wants. He wants his Lois's attention.
And it's nice to see that consistent here throughout. They don't have him do too much with his brothers or anything like that. But that one moment with Kelly was really sweet. It kind of shows his gentleness, his mature nature to himself as an adult. I like that the actress who plays Biama is back. That was actually really nice to see.
Yeah. It kind of shows that he's ready to be a dad if he can just get over his mom. If he can just get over Lois.
But you know, I think it could be interesting for whatever they could do with Revival. He now has a baby. Maybe his twins. Who knows?
Yeah. It's I suppose in his mind, in Francis's mind, this is the first grandchild. No one else has a kid.
Yeah, but
they don't know about Leah.
Yeah.
So when Lois comes in, and he immediately puts the stick in front of her face, and she's reeling from the fact that she has a grandchild who's 15 years old, and she hasn't had no knowledge of that. When he puts this thing in her face, it's like she's not even registering it almost. You know, she doesn't even say congratulations. That's one of the gripes that Francis has.
Yeah.
But in Francis's mind, this is the biggest thing. You know, it's the first grandchild of the whole family.
He thought he was he was going to make it about himself. It's like, I have something so big to give to my mother.
Finally, she's going to be proud of me, you know?
I kind of like the little like recap of the show, and now people ask for more. Did you get that?
At the very beginning with the previously on Malcolm in the Middle, and it's just a highlights reel of the previous 7 seasons, which is great.
Some of it did stand out there. You're gonna take your hands, you're gonna put them inside mommy, and you're gonna pull this baby out. Like they don't hide away from those kind of establishments. I like what they did with Francis. Even that like one scene where he had one good scene with Piyama, and then he had another good scene with Lois at the kitchen table. Like, the one-on-ones do make it special.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
for as much as... That's what I'm saying, is that the ensemble works great together, but you take any 2 characters and put them together, they're going to have a great story.
Yeah.
You take Francis and you take Hal, and you put them in a story together, you're going to get a great one, where they go on a motorcycle road trip and they have to break each other's arms to try and feign to Lois that motorcycling is bad. You take an instance where you take Dewey and you take Francis, and you put them in a story where Dewey runs away to the farm and he wants to see the Francis that Reese and Malcolm talk about.
Yeah.
You take any of the 2 characters and you put them in an episode together, and they're going to work well together.
Devoted fan you are.
I am, yeah.
Coming up with pitches left, right, and centre about this.
They're not pitches, they're episodes.
Are they
I'm
episodes?
recounting episodes, yeah.
Did we run away and run to the farm?
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's why you need to rewatch the show, man.
Come here till I ask you. The other new additions, Leah, I thought perfect. I was surprised to see that there were no one probably. I don't know. I'd like to see a Reddit that they posted to predict. See, I was right. They were going to make Malcolm's child capable to break the fourth wall and speak to us, the audience. I like that. That is something I never thought they were going to do. And I like that they did it.
Leah is the reason why I think they will continue the series, because of the fact they gave her the main character trope, or the main character ability to break the fourth wall.
They gave her the power to communicate with the audience,
Yeah.
to gear the show, to steer it.
I think a lot of people would say about a reunion like this, oh, why are you introducing so many new characters? I just want to see the old characters. I want to see the characters I already know. I don't care about these new characters. But I do care about them. I do care about Leah. I do care about Kelly. I like the relationship between Malcolm and Tristan. And I want to see them go further. I want to see more of Leah. What I really liked about Leah, her being Malcolm's daughter, and it's actually kind of a criticism I have of Malcolm in this reunion, is that I didn't really feel as though there were many instances where Malcolm was the smartest in the room. Like, Malcolm's intelligence wasn't a factor, really, of the whole show. But what I really liked about Leah, her being Malcolm's daughter, is that she has super high emotional intelligence. It's not the classic intelligence that Malcolm has. It's the she has emotional intelligence. She's genuinely like, I know what's going on. I know what I'm feeling. I can diagnose this. I can diagnose what you're feeling. I can do all these things. And it was just a really good, I suppose, spin on what intelligence is. And Malcolm had the mathematical element of intelligence, and he was able to do all the scientific stuff, and he had a memory. He had a photographic memory, essentially.
Yeah.
But then you look at the whole family, and like Reese, incredible with cooking, and Dewey, incredible with music, and Francis, incredible with pranks.
Was he though?
Yeah, like I don't know what exactly Francis's his intelligence is. Maybe it was like because he was great on the farm. He was great as a manual laborer.
I think Francis' great intelligence is that he's a bullshitter, but he's matured up. Like Francis seems to be the most normal of the lot, I think.
No, but what's Francis's like his speciality?
I
think it was him on the ranch. Like, him on the ranch was perfect.
Yeah, he was. He did.
That's where he came into his own.
I felt he excelled well on the ranch because it was just one season, I think, but like it did well.
Yeah.
I thought
Kelly is a snitch. That's where they know how to. That's their pull.
Yeah.
You have Hal, his love for Lois. Like, there's no better way to do it than he loves Lois more than life itself.
If you forgot that was a thing in the show, this reunion really reminds you of it.
And Lois's intelligence is punishing the boys. You know, she knows how to get at them. She knows how to break them down. But it was interesting to see all of these main character things given to Leah. And so I think if we were to get another series of it, I'm more than happy to see an A story that's Malcolm and a B story that is led by Leah, or like we can flip flop between the two of them, like that we're doing these multiple stories and they are the main characters of each.
Well, most TV shows of this format have two stories going on, and Malcolm can lead the A storyline, and sometimes he can lead the B storyline. Sometimes he can just be a supporting in a B storyline.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
like
I wouldn't even say they're A and B storylines. I'd say we have the A1 storyline and the A2 storyline.
Yeah.
This is A1 is Malcolm and A2 is going to be Leah, and then the B story is whatever Reese and Hal are getting up to.
Yeah, but like I said, the cast is now so grown between old and new. All right. It's so diverse now. There's so many options to avail of.
Yeah.
And you can introduce new characters in the show itself, you know?
Even something like back in the day where Reese is cooking with the Thanksgiving dinner and him and Piyama are working together. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, you throw any...
I
Like,
completely forgot about that. But
yeah, like throw Piyama in there. Like she's as much part of the family as everyone else is.
She is, yeah. I liked Leah's role in this. I liked her presence. I liked that they did not shy away from introducing new characters, which is what one would expect when doing a legacy of something and continuing on an older story, an older format. Like, they didn't shy away. Yeah, with 4 episodes, but they still made plenty of time for them.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't just a character in Malcolm's life.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting scenes, even in the last episode, where she's texting a boy, and he's, like, asking her for nude pictures. And it's like, what does this have any relevance to any of the other characters? Like, no, it's not relevant, but she is a main character, and this is relevant to her. So, like, if we were to see this continue, I'm happy. I feel like I know her as a character and what she's going through, and I'm happy to see it continue and her be the main character.
Yeah.
Leah in the middle.
Yeah.
They wouldn't change the name. It would be Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah, would it be? Yeah, probably would be. Well, I don't know. We're not gonna get stuck on that. But Leah in the middle, yeah. But Malcolm in the middle because just quickly before we go on to Hal and Noah's, Craig, Abe, Stevie.
I was gonna ask, yeah. So there's a lot of, and this is why it felt way more like a reunion than a revival
There's
series.
so many brief.
It's like, how many people can we get in this?
Yeah.
How many people can we get in this?
Yeah, the 3 guys from Francis's military.
Yeah,
days,
when they turned up, when Richie was there and he was the
clerk. Yeah, I had to look him up.
when he came in, and I was like, where do I know this guy from? And then Hal goes, Richie, and I go, oh, I know him from Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. I knew him from, he was Francis's friend, and then he worked at the fast food restaurant that Reese goes to work at, and then he accuses him of stealing.
Yeah. Of all people, like, you could have just introduced that guy as a random character.
Yeah,
but the fact
didn't
that
have to be anyone.
But they made it Richie.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think that for it being a reunion special, like, anytime they did bring a character back, I was like, oh yeah, great. You know, like, there was no one, and especially when it's when you base the whole story around a 40th anniversary party where everyone is coming back to celebrate this, and it's people from our lives. There was no one that felt out of place. There was no one that felt like, oh, why are you here? That's a bit strange. Now, the only strange part about it is, like, the people that were invited to the party, it felt weird. Like
Otis's wife.
Who?
Otis's wife.
Who's Otis's wife?
The redhead, glasses, German. She came from.
Oh, sorry. Yes, from the ranch. Yeah. Yeah, she was a bit of an odd one. I'd say Francis's military buddies was a bit of an odd one as well. Yeah. And kind of, and maybe not Malcolm's friends. Maybe it's a kind of situation where obviously we don't know how the friendships and relationships changed over the 15 years or nearly 18 years since the show has been on. So there was a few that felt a little bit strange, but you can put it down to it's an anniversary. Everyone was invited. It's perfectly fine.
You're not going to hear a complaint from me.
No.
I was delighted. Even Stevie's mother came back.
Kitty, yeah.
I'm shocked, to be honest. I'm really shocked to see that actress come back, because once that character left the show, divorced Stevie's dad, she was gone.
She came back.
Did she come back?
Yep.
Maybe she. I see. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But Abe, delighted to see. I love seeing it. I love that all of Hal's friends, right? First of all, they're back, but they kind of made a joke about that because you guys, I know what you guys are. You know, you're all pros at gambling. Like they're setting up a joke for what you'd expect, but they're throwing your head. So I like that. He's still friends with these guys, and they still come up. They still got together to do this little, like,
barbershop quartet. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I was going to know what the name of that thing was.
Yeah.
But seeing Abe there was great. Seeing him and Stevie there. Stevie, the actor is not in a wheelchair in real life.
No, he doesn't also have that respiratory problem.
No.
He talks normally. It was really weird. I think it was a blooper reel like in one of the early seasons where Stevie is, for anyone that doesn't know, and it'd be crazy that you're listening to this if you don't know, but Stevie talks like this. So in the blooper reel, when he's doing that, and then all of a sudden he starts laughing and then talking normally, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Stevie can't do that.
Yeah.
No, Stevie talks like how I just did.
It's as if you saw Malcolm speak how he does in show, but next thing you know, he's got an Aussie accent behind the reel, you know?
It's super weird. It's super weird.
That one joke where Malcolm's awkward proposal for Tristan,
and Stevie tips over his wheelchair,
but it's in the far
way
background.
back, and then Malcolm literally goes, "That doesn't work for everything, Stevie," which is brilliant. You know what? That's a callback to.
I remember he
There's
does
a few instances I think where Stevie does that. And
Yeah.
There was one where someone punched or threw a punch and it tipped Stevie's chin and he just fully threw himself for the sympathy of it. But
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was a good joke. That was a great steal. I like seeing Stevie there.
Listen, there was no one that they brought back that I wasn't happy to see.
Yeah.
There was no one that I was like, oh, why did they bring you back? Like,
No, there is no one. I never felt that for anyone. I even like seeing Craig there. Like, it doesn't.
I felt like if anyone was coming back, it had to be Craig. I felt like Craig was like, he was the main side character for me.
Yeah, probably. Like he did have a lot of moments. Like, remember when Hal was working in the supermarket, and then there's like a overly
mutiny.
drawn unionization of the staff, and then Hal's just walking up the hallway there. That's kind of funny. I'm sure I'll watch it someday. I'll watch the series again someday. No ex-partners. The other smart girl that Malcolm grew up with, or their cousin with the blonde hair with the glasses.
That's not their cousin.
I thought they were cousins.
No.
With the blonde hair and the curly hair.
Yeah, Jessica.
Jessica.
Yeah, they're not cousins.
I thought they were cousins.
Nope.
There was another girl. She was a Krellboyne, but I forget her name.
I think it might have been Susie or Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
I thought.
The fact they brought back any of the Krellboynes other than Stevie was a surprise. Like when they came on screen, I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys!" Like, and I knew who each of them were straight away. I could cast my mind back to them as a younger self.
I couldn't really. I had to look up to be sure. Phil Wolfhard all of a sudden just makes a cameo appearance here.
Who?
Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, Finn Wolfhard. Yeah, it was super strange to have him. I suppose that's the thing that we're gonna find now is after Stranger Things, all of these kids are now adults and they have to find actual acting roles. So it's just super strange to have him appear in a side character role. He was fine.
It was fine. Like it was a big name to this thing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Is he even a big name?
He is.
Beyond Stranger Things?
He would be a bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he would be. Man, we grew up with that show.
Oh, shut up. I grew up with Malcolm in the Middle. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was talking about that. Hal and Lois. It's for Malcolm as well. We haven't talked much about Malcolm yet. Well, first of all, who?
Malcolm, it felt like that. It felt like he was just straight back into it. Like
That guy doesn't even really act anymore.
No.
He's a
NASCAR driver, yeah.
I was about to say NASCAR.
I know you were. That's why I jumped in and said NASCAR.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, he doesn't really act anymore, but there were some great scenes in here, and I felt like I really did believe that he was better not being with the family. Like, he portrayed himself when he's not with the family versus when he is with the family, and how he's, like, screaming his head off, and he's going, like, red in the face, and his eyes are bulging, and I'm like, oh, I fully believe that this is how you are, because that's how, like, they've always been. Like, the family are, like, toxic to each other as well. As much as we love seeing them together, they are bad for each other.
But Malcolm's the only one who acknowledges that, so he's actively staying away from it. I thought you did a great job.
Yeah.
Frankie Muniz, and even they stay consistent by giving him the "and" in the credits again, which is it's crazy. It's strange, but it's nice. You know, it's something familiar as well because it comes up. And Frankie Muniz. Is that his name?
Muniz, yeah.
Muniz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he plays Malcolm so well. And the guy looks like you'd have a great conversation with the guy.
Yeah,
Like,
he seems like down to earth.
Yeah. He seems so very cool to have a conversation with.
And it's nice as well that he, with all of his smarts and his big ego that he has, like, that he is running a charity. Like, that just seems nice. That I suppose that you asked there,
bit of a Jimmy Neutron in him.
a bit of a Jimmy Neutron in him.
Yeah. He's smart, but he's not smart to the point where he rubs it in your face.
Oh yeah, that's that's a good comparison actually. Yeah, that's pretty good. And like you have the jumping off point of the finale where Lois and Hal give him what their plan is for him, that he would become the president of the United States.
And then all of a sudden, everyone knew except for him.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, that's of course that's the plan. And Malcolm is here now doing everything that he can to try and live up to that expectation of him. And he is convinced that his parents are so disappointed of him because he hasn't become president of the United States.
Yeah.
But yet here he is like running a very successful charity that is essentially, I think he gives a brief description of it in the first episode, where they basically create food banks and make sure that no grocery stores throw out food or anything like that, that it all goes to people that are hungry.
I can't remember that.
I'm pretty sure that that's kind of what it is at the beginning. But the fact that his worldview is so twisted that he thinks that his family and his parents are disappointed in him only because he's running a charity. Like it's the case with Malcolm is that even though he's the smartest one in the room, he's usually still the dumbest.
I like that they acknowledge that. They acknowledge, you said you wanted me to become president. Look what that did to me. I like that they acknowledge that, and even they pass that off as like, Malcolm, that was just a plan.
Yeah,
it
we have hundreds of plans. Yeah, it's just one.
Obviously, they made a bit of a more big deal in the finale. But you know, we're in the real world here.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we had come along here and we were talking about life's still unfair and Malcolm was the president of the United States, I'd be like, this just doesn't feel realistic. Like this feels weird. Do you know?
Even if he was a politician like that, I don't know if that would be.
I could push it to politician, yeah, but
I don't know.
And he's trying to distance himself from his family because of, you know, Reese and Francis have arrest records or something like that. You know, like I could see that, but the way it is, and you know, the scene with him and Lois in the bathroom, it's a scene that is, it's such a great piece of acting that I hate the scene so much.
Why? Because
it's undercut with a stupid fucking fart joke. It's undercut with Craig running in the bathroom and taking a shit, and I hate it so much. I hated it in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I hated it in Malcolm in the Middle. Stop using poop jokes. They're not funny. I'm like, I want to see this scene between Malcolm and Lois, and this is the fruition, I suppose, of this whole special.
Yeah,
is them finally having it out. And Malcolm literally says at the beginning, it's like, you think that we're gonna solve all this with one conversation in a bathroom? And Lois is like, yeah, come on, let's do it. I just think that would have been fantastic. And had at the end Reese slithered out from the stall that he had secretly been hiding there the whole time, it's like, perfect. A nice little punctuation of a joke on a very serious scene, that would have been perfect. But having Craig come in and he's there in the bathroom stall shitting away, and I'm like, oh my god, like, just stop. This is like, you're ruining it. You have a great scene here and you're ruining it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I'm not going to challenge you on that.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose I do agree. Like, we could have done without the Craig thing.
Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't add anything to me, and the fact that it kept going and going and going, I was like, oh my god, stop, please, just like let them have this emotional dialogue here, because it's great. It's a great piece of dialogue.
Well, it was great. It's so great. There's not enough of it.
Yeah, you want more. Yeah,
you kind of you would have liked to have had more. Beyond, you know, Lois getting very anxious to get the anniversary all prepared and ready. There wasn't a whole lot I thought they did with her.
Yeah, I think that I always loved Lois more than I loved Hal.
Really?
Yeah, I just love her getting angry. I love her, like, the boys trying to avoid her or like not get in trouble and stuff like that. And like, there's a few tiny instances of it here, like even when she goes and picks Hal up from the thing just before the car crash.
Love that note on him. Ignore.
Owner
coming.
Yeah.
I thought it was
when
so
she puts
funny.
him in the car and she's giving out to him, and she's like, she gives out to God, or like she just like generally in the air, like, you will not get the better of me. You know, all this. I'm like, I just want more of that. And unfortunately, because the kids are all so grown up, it feels like there's less of a chance of Lois giving out to them like that. But I just would have liked to see more of Lois. Like, this might be controversial. I would have liked to see Lois more than I would have Hal. Like, the amount of Hal we get in this, I would have actually liked to see that amount of screen time given to Lois, comparatively.
I did not like the Hal stuff in this. I didn't like it.
Did it feel to you as though it was because Bryan Cranston was the driving force behind this reunion that he gave himself more?
A little.
Yeah.
But what he gave himself was not much. Like, what was it? It was a nothing thing. Like,
It was him being betrayed by Reese and him trying to figure out and he was betrayed by Reese and he was betrayed by Malcolm. The fact that Malcolm never told him that
he's
a granddaughter.
Yeah.
And him like coming to terms with this, like, so you think that the worst thing that ever happened to you is us, or the fact that we wanted to be in your life? And Malcolm's like, yeah, pretty much. And I think Hal coming to terms with that, and then he goes on his spiritual journey, which is 100%, it's in vein of kind of what Hal's stories sometimes were.
I agree.
And I did like that there was that little bit of like, he has the conversation with Perfect Hal, which actually becomes Evil Hal.
Yeah.
And that felt like there was this one episode where Hal was going a bit crazy and there were lots of little versions of himself.
Yeah, I remember. It is consistent.
Yeah.
But is that what you want to devote
No.
half an episode for such limited screen time in a reunion? No, I don't think so. You can't. I feel like you can't afford a mediocre storyline for this particular character in this reunion when you have so little to avail of it.
I feel like with Hal in the original series, it's like less is more with Hal. It's like, because you got every now and again a Hal focused episode.
Yeah.
That it felt like, oh, this is a special treat, or like, okay, this is really wacky. But when he's in the drug hallucination, it felt like it was a cartoon then. Because, like, I don't know if you noticed this, there was when he's fighting Evil Hal, and like every time he punches him, he's with a new object. It felt like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would just rather see something a bit more realistic and something like what Hal's conclusion at the end is that he's like this infinite piece of cake, and that everyone can take happiness from him, and he will always have more of the happiness to give.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose it's a nice thing for him to come to terms with what his place within the family is.
It's a good cap off to his character to finalize this reunion.
Had there had been less of a focus on Hal, it would have had that gut punch at the end where Lois says, finally we get to celebrate the anniversary how I want to celebrate it, and it's by focusing on you, Hal. And we get that lovely video where all of the kids and all of these people are saying what they love about Hal so much.
Yeah.
Had we had less Hal, that would have been such a gut punch of like, yes, he wasn't the focus of this, but look, we're making him the focus of this now.
Rather than devoting like 2/3 of an episode on him for that.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
It felt a little bit too much. No, don't get me wrong, love Hal.
I do. I do, but
I would have had
if
it had been Lois more,
Yeah.
and Lois. Let's take what Lois was doing, where she's arguing with people over all these things that are going wrong.
Yeah.
And put some of the energy that she would have had with the boys and like making sure they like giving out to them, but doing that with all these other people.
Yeah.
And they're just people that are doing their jobs.
But
that would have been better.
But if you don't even want to do that and you have more screen time to avail of, bring the likes of Dewey and Jamie home.
Yeah.
And have them do some jobs and roles there. Because I would have liked to see Dewey's relationship with Lois. Is he a cheeky little mischievous, or is he?
I would like to see some relationship between Dewey and Jamie, because like there is that whole episode back in the day where Jamie and Dewey have the same birthday. Jamie was born on Dewey's birthday, and there was that whole episode where he makes Hal and Lois go on the scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
and it's because they've forgotten the birthday, and it's to bring Jamie then, and they're buying presents for Jamie essentially on the scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to see a little bit of a relationship, because I feel as though Dewey and Jamie wouldn't have had an adversarial relationship the same way that all of the other boys would have had.
I think Dewey and Jamie would have been... They're so different from each other, but I think they would get along.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to challenge each other on. You know, an episode of a revival continuing the series would be, because there is no animosity between them, there's nothing to challenge each other, but the fact that they share the same birthday, that someone would pull an Inception. Like Reese would kind of get into both their minds and force
put them against each other.
Yeah, and force them to go against each other.
Absolutely.
So that's a possible storyline right there. These are Lois's babies. You know, I want to see that a bit. And Malcolm's no longer in the middle.
Let me think. So Malcolm is so it's Francis, Reese, Malcolm, Dewey, Jamie, Kelly. So Dewey and Malcolm are in the middle.
Yeah.
They're just on the opposite ends. So Malcolm is the youngest of the oldest three, and Dewey is the oldest of the youngest three. They are kind of in the middle.
Yeah, okay. It's funny. Do you know, I think talking about this with you has made me look at this revival a little bit more optimistic.
I really am optimistic for the future of Malcolm in the Middle, because this was good. There were some disappointing elements, but that's I think down to the constraints of the cast not interacting with each other as much. If this was a full revival, or if this was a full revival season, I think I'm a lot optimistic. I'm much more optimistic on how this will go forward.
I think you're wishful thinking, buddy.
I'm gonna hold out hope. The fact that I think you look at the likes of Scrubs. Scrubs is really good. This revival season of Scrubs is great. Actually, it feels as though Scrubs is back, and we just took a 15-year break, whatever it was. I think that this reunion for Malcolm in the Middle is being received generally quite positively. And so I think that depending on whatever the numbers are, we will see, even if it's not a revival series, it could be another reunion. It could be another story like this again. You know, maybe it's a couple of years later and, oh, look, Malcolm and Tristan are getting married. They actually are going to do it. And now it's the family based around a wedding and having that go to plan. Because we never had really a wedding in the show. No, none of the characters. No, we don't have a wedding.
Of course you know. I don't know.
I was just thinking. I was like, no. So, yeah, I think that there is, if anything, right now, I'm the most optimistic that there will be more Malcolm in the Middle.
I just remember seeing a video from Frankie saying, "This is it.
This is all that's planned. It's all that's planned.
Yeah, I'd like to think. I would like more. I would welcome more.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for Bryan Cranston to have, to get behind this, to push it. Like this was Bryan Cranston bringing this to the original creator and then pitching it. And it's worth having the unnecessary screen time and story that he got in this for the sake of having a revival.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. But yeah, that's it.
That's it? That's it. Happy with that? Have you got any recommendations before we let people go then?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I don't know. That's okay. Yeah, fair enough. That's good.
No, I'll tell you what. I'm going to recommend The Boys.
You recommended that last week.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right. The Testaments.
The Testaments. What's
I
the Testaments?
haven't seen it yet.
But you're going to recommend it anyway.
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Fair.
Oh, For All Mankind then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching that. That's
Okay.
that's a good show.
Good. I'm looking forward to that.
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah.
They have announced season 6 going to be last. I think maybe just wait until the whole...
Wait till the whole show is done?
Yeah.
Or will I wait and watch season 6 as it airs?
Season 6 probably won't be out until 2027.
Ah, yeah, I can watch it between now and then.
Sorry.
28.
28.
I can watch it between now and then, I'm sure. Yeah. I'll recommend...
Let me know when you get back to me.
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe do a chat on it.
Okay, maybe. I will recommend Scrubs, considering I talked about it enough this time around. I think if you're looking for a genuine, good...
You recommended it already, by the way, just letting you know.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
And I recommended The Boys, actually, but you call that out on me.
You did... If I recommended Scrubs last week, I would have accepted a call out. But I'm going to recommend Scrubs because it's a revival. It's a reunion series. And I think that if Malcolm in the Middle, Life Still Unfair is to continue, they should take a leaf out of Scrubs' book and do it like that.
Isn't it weird that it wouldn't be 22 episodes? It'd probably be like 10 max.
Oh yeah, everything's 10 now. And my name's David, not Max.
Funny fucker, aren't you?
I like I am. Brian, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Talking Pictures Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app of choice to never miss an episode. You can also give us a 5-star review. You can send in an email with topics or suggestions or thoughts of your own to...
Please, we're running out.
Yeah, send those in to tpp@anotherhappystudios.com. You can follow us on all of our social medias. They're down in the links below. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our other podcast, which is Saturday Morning Cartoon Club. We have new episodes of that on the last Saturday of every month. So make sure that you're subscribed there. You're subscribed here. You're never missing an episode. This podcast is brought to you by Another Happy Studios. So make sure to check out all of the other podcasts in our network. Those can be found at anotherhappystudios.com. Brian, any final words before we let people go?
Did you think Hal died when the big balloon of...
I thought, yeah, actually, kind of, yeah. I did think... I don't know if he died, but I was like, he's pretty badly injured in there. Like, that was a pretty heavy thump coming down.
Yeah, I got a big shock with the car crash, but it wasn't... Oh.
Yeah, I was more concerned with the car crash because of the fact that Hal was still talking, and then he was like, Lois? And I was like, I was glad that I didn't have to wait a week or anything like that. I could just go straight into the next episode because I was like, okay.
I like that Francis was completely covered in the glitter, but obviously not to the extent that Hal was, because he was floating
directly.
there.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the hamster?
What hamster?
The hamster in the ball.
What hamster in the ball?
Oh, fake fan.
What do you mean fake fan?
Fake fan.
All I'm saying is that I thought the final scene could have ended with like a big explosion of an argument amongst the family.
That would have been in line. Yeah.
It would have been in line. I think it kind of just ended.
Yeah.
Because
like this episode.